In this video, I'm going to tell you how to feed a baby bird if you find a bird that is not being fed by its parents. But before I tell you how to feed a baby bird, I have to tell you, if it's possible, you put the bird back in the nest. It's better for the parent bird to raise it than for a human being to raise it. If there's a parent bird feeding that bird, leave it alone. The parent bird knows way better than a human does of how to raise its baby. If you could get that bird to a bird rehabber, then do that. Bird rehabbers are in every state in America, and they can raise birds for you. You should only get involved if there's no nest, no parent birds, or no bird rehabbers available. You're only helping in case of emergencies. So here's how you do it. You'll notice the baby is not afraid of you. All the baby wants is some food. So he's sitting there with his mouth open. When you get near him, his mouth is open. That's called gaping. He's gaping for food. And the mother bird would then, with her beak, she would put her food in the baby bird's mouth. That's what you have to simulate as a human. I use a little tweezers, if you have a plastic tweezers or a metal tweezers with a rounded end. I mean, you don't have to be too careful, because think about a mother bird's beak is pointy and is going into the gaped beak of the baby, okay? And believe me, once the food's in there, he's gonna grab it. Sometimes he'll jump all over your tweezer to grab it. If the bird's a larger bird, you can use your fingers, but I'd rather have you wear gloves and a tweezer. Other times, depending on the food I'm giving, I can use one of these little syringes that I could suck the food into and then give the tiniest squirt of food. You don't want to shove it down the baby's throat. You're kind of presenting it to his throat, and he takes it from you. Here's Gerber chicken, and I'm going to actually just dip this in. I'm not going to suck the food up. I'm just going to use the tip of it. And then when I bring this over to the baby bird, he'll be able to eat it. You also can give them high-protein puppy food or kitten food. You buy the dry food, and then you soak it in warm water for about 10 minutes until it's wet and soft. You have to squeeze the excess water out so the bird doesn't drown. But then, once it's damp, you can break it up into small pieces, small enough to fit in the bird's beak. And that I will use this tweezers for. Don't give them water. Birds can easily inhale water, and then they get pneumonia, and then they die. So don't give them water. The food I'm going to tell you to give them will be damp. None of this is rocket science. I'm not a bird rehabber. I'm not licensed. I just have had birds presented to me. I know, hey, this thing is starving. I'm going to feed it. It's as simple as that. So the mother bird will eat whatever the bird is, robin, starling, grackle, sparrow. The mother bird goes out and gathers food, and whatever it is, right? Whatever she's eating, worms, seeds, fruits, bread, whatever she eats, she then regurgitates it for her baby. So the baby is getting chewed up, regurgitated protein. Do an internet search for "what do you feed a baby bird?" and you'll get tons of information. I avoid earthworms because I read they could contain parasites that can harm a baby bird. There's so much useful information on spruce.com, on PETA, on Humane Society and bird rehabber websites. I even watched the dodo. There are so many people helping you raise baby animals, and you can see bird development charts. It's all out there on the internet. I didn't make any of it up. I researched it all on the web before I helped any bird. And of course, this is if you need to intervene, because if there's a parent bird, you stay out of it. But if you have to feed the bird, and you did this research, now we know they need protein, a dry kitten food from a pet store. Wet it in warm water, squeeze out the excess, and then you have a mush, right? It should simulate regurgitated bird food from the mother. If you don't have access to pet food, but you have baby food, make sure it's a high-protein baby food, like this Gerber chicken is high in protein. I've also used Gerber multigrain cereal, which you mix with a little water so it's damp. If you have scrambled eggs, you could mash it up into like a mashed potato consistency. And if you want to add some kitten food to that, a drop of Gerber baby food, and then mix it all up, and it's just like regurgitated protein from the mother. And then you could feed them that on a tweezer, a small pea-sized bit. If the bird is not gaping for food, just touch his nose gently on the beak, and he'll open his mouth. Baby birds, right, born, say the last week or so, they got to be fed every 20 minutes. They'll eat, then they'll sleep. They'll just sleep right there. So have a dim room ready. I make a little nest for them out of a wicker basket. I maybe put a fleece in there. I put a paper towel in there to make them comfortable. Put the nest somewhere safe and quiet in a semi-darkened room. And every 20 minutes, you'll feed the baby. As they start to age, then it's every 30 minutes. Then it's every 45 minutes. Then it's every hour. All of these timetables of their lifespan, of their eating schedule, of what you feed them, it's all on the internet. If it's at all possible, leave the baby bird for the adult birds to take care of. If you can see the nest and you can safely put the baby back in it, then do that. I actually refuse to take care of birds if the adult birds are there or if there's a nest. If there's any reason that that baby is not being fed, then you want to intervene. I hope this video helped. Feel free to share your information in the comments and feel free to subscribe.